Let's talk about this and what the scholar says about this. Well, the first thing you're going to hear about braids in Islam is the hadith of Hani, where she said, قدم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم مكة وله أربع غدائر وفي رواية أربع ضفائر. The Nabi Sallam came to Mecca, and when he arrived at Mecca, he had his hairs braided in 4 knots. There's one more hadith by Aisha anha that talks about the length of the hair of the Nabi Sallam. This is so descriptive, and she said, كان شعر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فوق الوفرة ودون الجمة. فوق الوفرة ودون الجمة. The hair length of the Nabi Sallam was beyond al-wafra. And this is the image of al-wafra. Al-wafra is the hair that gets to the earlobe. ودون الجمة. But his hairs do not extend to the level of al-jumma. And al-jumma is when you have the hairs falling off your shoulders. And in some hadith by Anas anhu, he said his hair was reaching his shoulders. So by all this hadith altogether, we know that his hairs were between his earlobes and his shoulder, like the hadith of Aisha anha stated. The braids of today, there are 2 types of braids. So the braids that was explained in the hadith of Nabi Sallam, when you look at the explanation of the scholars regarding this braid, is something that is at the back because his hairs were long. And Ibn Hajar rahimahullah, he said the reason why Nabi Sallam had braided his head was because he was on a journey. He didn't have time to take care of his hairs. So when it became long, he decided to braid it just to make it look proper and to make it look, neat and tidy. So that is the reason why Nabi Sallam did braid, according to Ibn Hajar Allah. There might be some other opinions. If you know, no problem. But braids in today's world are done in 2 ways. One is they will do their braids right from the, from the forehead here, all the way to the back. And some people will have the back, the ponytail, they will have it braided. So if you have the ponytail braided, that is no problem in that. You can braid it at the back. You can make it a ponytail like Akhi Ayman. There's nothing wrong in that. But when it comes to you bringing your braid all the way from this part all the way to the back, even if it is mubah, there is no prohibition regarding that whatsoever. We have to go back to al-urf, the customs of your people. We're living in a world where if you have your heads braided, I don't know about you, but in my country, if you have your head braided from here all to the back, you look like a woman. In Africa, you're a woman. Your sister Maryam, I don't know, your sister Zainab. So if you have your hairs braided right from the forehead all the way to the back, you're looking like a woman, and that is going to be haram. That is number 1. Number 2 is having the hairs braided from the forehead all the way to the back. This is commonly found among the people of corruption as well. We all know this. Unless if you're living in a place whereby majority of the people, like it is your culture to have braids, then there's nothing wrong with that. But in today's world, most especially in my country, if you do that, you're going to be facing a lot of issues from your mother, from your father, from your sisters, from your friends, from your teachers, from your lecturers, from the government. But anyways, let's hear what some scholars says about this. Most of the scholars, they say it is permissible. Like majority of the scholars, they all say it's permissible to have braids, but they didn't go into explanation on how the braids will look like, things like that. Shaykh Uthaymeen rahimahullah said it is permissible to have braids. It is not a sunnah that you would be rewarded for. This is something that Nabi Sallam did because it was customarily acceptable in his time. So he did it. So in today's world, Shaykh Uthaymeen, he said, in today's world, even if it's permissible, this is no more a good thing to do in the society. The society shunned this act, so you have to stay away from it. So the issue of braids is very simple. If you have a long hair and you want to make it look tidy, you can tidy it up. If you feel like doing it, you can, braid it at the back, or you can make the pony hairstyle like Akhi Ayman. But for you to braid your hair from here all the way to the back, that is not permissible unless if you are living in a place where the culture of the people is that they braid their hairs from here all to the back. And most especially if you're an African, if I should braid my hairs today and I walk in the streets of Nigeria, people would call me Sister Fatima. People will say, Sister Fatima, where's your hijab? That's it. And I believe this is something that we should all know. We don't have to pretend that this is not the reality. This is the reality, guys. Wake up.